Hello everyone and welcome to your 10-minute Beginners Pilates workout from Mindspace this week. And it is a lovely sunny Monday where I am, and I hope it's lovely and sunny wherever you are. So we're going to do some exercises and we're going to talk about how to incorporate very small, basic but amazing miracle exercises you can put into your day that don't take up lots of time, that aren't very complicated, but will have a massive effect on your body and your mind, and they would literally only take a few minutes. So I know what it's like when you say, I'm going to start a new routine, I'm going to start this, and then you just can't quite manage it, and then we beat ourselves up over it. But it's okay, because every single person probably does that. It's just a human brain. It takes a lot of discipline to try and reverse that. So what I'm here today is to show you some very easy but effective exercises that you can do laying in bed. So when you wake up in the morning or just before you go to sleep, or you could do these, of course, at any time throughout your day. I was just saying to the lovely lady who presses live on my lives, I was saying that sometimes during the week, I always try and give myself 2 to 3 days, 30 minutes a day. So 2 to 3 days a week, I set myself a 30-minute me time, and I put on like my face mask, or I do 10 minutes of yoga, or I meditate for 10 minutes, and it's just a 30 minutes. So whereas I can't always do sort of my daily tasks that I would like to do, I try and do that instead, so at least I have a little bit of quality time for myself. So these exercises are very easy to do, but as always, if you have any pre-existing injuries, any ailments, please go really carefully when you do things like this, as obviously your bodies are different. You need to listen to your body, and if you feel any pain, then you need to stop. So when we're in bed, we just wake up. Now, this will also depend on how long it takes you to wake up. Me, I don't know why, as I'm getting slightly older, it's taking a lot longer than it used to do. But when you wake up, and when you're awake, there's no point waking up thinking, oh, I've got to do this and this. It kind of just stresses you out from the different brain states that we're in, from when we're asleep to when we need to be conscious. So just go really easy on yourself. But the first things first is you don't even have to move out of bed. You can just hug your knees in towards your chest, and you can just take some deep, easy breathing. That's all you got to do. You just got to breathe in and breathe out. Simple. Relax the body and take a conscious minute to actually allow yourself to breathe, because we are lovely and relaxed when we're asleep, and it's only when our human mind starts kicking in that we start to maybe feel overwhelmed, anxious, or stressed out about what we've got to do or where we've got to be. So taking just like even 2 minutes in the morning will really help just relax. And then when you find that we can habit stack these things, you might take 5 minutes out, but for 2 minutes, all you've got to do excuse me, is hug knees in towards your chest from side to side, relax the toes, breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, and inhale and exhale, in and out, and in and out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. One more, in and out. Great, that was about a minute. Now take a long body stretch. So you can do your long body stretch as soon as you wake up if you want. It's very nice when we do that, especially after we've been laying in a certain position for maybe 8 hours or so. Just stretch, just push through the heels. One at a time, stretch, point the toes. And release. Good. Before we even do anything else, just mentally check in with yourself. So when you're awake in the morning, how are you feeling? Did you have a good night's sleep? Did you dream? You might have dreamt some very wild dreams. I certainly have very wild, interesting dreams sometimes. And when I wake up, it takes me even longer to kind of adjust and just realise what has I've just been through. Sometimes it's like a little mini horror movie, but I like to just check in with myself. How am I feeling? Do I have any aches and pains anywhere? But we've grounded ourselves down with the breath, and everything always starts with the breath. So now I would suggest that you just hug your left knee in. Now, of course, in the morning you're going to be stiff, okay? Usually 9 times out of 10, you always lay in the same position every night. So chances are you haven't moved too much, and therefore you'll wake up in that same position. So we need to just gently allow a little bit of movement into our bodies, but just, you can have the hand underneath that knee, or just a hand on the inside of the knee, just come out to the side. And then come back in, leg long. Right knee in. Inhale. Exhale, knee out to the side. And then come in. Good. If you can, just hug that knee in and then just circle it around, just moving the hip around. But we've got the hands behind the legs, so we're aiding it. So we're nothing too intense. And then swap to the other side. We don't want to go too much. It is, of course, first thing this morning, and then stretch the leg out long. Realign those hips, excuse me. Other side, hug it in, circle around. So we've done our hugs, our knees in towards our chest with some breathing. We've had a good stretch. And now we're just hugging that hip around, getting everything moving and mobile. And release, and let's go back to a nice long body stretch. Really take your time, push through your heels. And then release. Now, I don't know about you, but I tend to lay flat on my front and then I turn my head, which does have horrendous effects on my neck and my mouth and my jaw. So when you first wake up, a really nice thing to do is drop your shoulders away from your ears and turn your head side to side and take your time to stretch out. Really take your time to stretch out. We're going to do 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Wonderful. And then come up. Fantastic. So you can do those exercises in any order that you wish. Yes, the order that I did them in would work very well, but equally if you turned your head side to side first, or maybe if you just did maybe 2 exercises out of those 5 or 6 that I showed you just to start with, and then just gradually build them up. But I would definitely, first thing in the morning, I would definitely take time to stretch your neck out and to stretch your entire back out as well. And also your breathing, it really helps to set you up for a nice day. So they're the exercises that you can incorporate into your routine when you first wake up. Now let's talk about when you're getting into bed. So at the end of the day, if you've had a really, maybe you've had a really busy day, maybe you've had a very heavy day on your body, maybe you've done a lot of shopping, a lot of walking, a lot of gardening, or your job, dealing with a small child, you know, we all have the stresses inside the body which can, over time, if we don't listen to our bodies and stretch them out, they become a lot worse. So we want to relax that off as best we can. So I'm coming up to standing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand here, and I'm going, so say this is my bed, I'm going to stand next to my bed with my feet hip width apart, and I'm going to stand up nice and tall, and then I'm going to nod the chin towards the chest, and then I'm going to round, and I'm going to bend my neck ever so slightly, but we're not having the chin right towards the chest. And then we're rounding through really, really slowly. Really, really slow. And we're stretching off this back. This is called the Pilates roll down. You could do this as well first thing in the morning. In fact, even if you didn't have time to do anything else, but this roll down when you first woke up, when you went to bed, you would feel a huge difference in your spine, in your back, and releasing tension in your body. So round through, you're here. Just breathe in and out. Bend those knees. Now try and get your fingers onto the floor as best you can. Hold it here. Feel that stretch all down that lower back. Make sure the chin's tucking right under, and then slowly restack the spine, really, really slowly. And then come and lift all the way back up. Wonderful. Just hold there. I'm just going to move this so we can see a little bit better, hopefully. People can. Wonderful. And then we're going to open up the front of the chest. So again, we've collapsed our spine, so we've rounded the spine and relaxed that area. Now we need to open up the chest, and it's over time that we stand like this on our phones, eating, driving, that this posture can really have a massive difference. So this will really, really help you feel a lot more confident as well. So take the hands behind your lower back. You can press them into the lower back, drop the shoulders, and then press the elbows together, and just lift the chin up slightly, but open up. So we're stretching all across here. And release. Now you can just roll, allow your hands to swing. That was what I was looking for. Swing back and forth. And then let's go again. Hand behind the lower back. Inhale, exhale. Push these back. Elbows are trying to touch, but they don't have to touch, and they probably won't. If they do, you may be slightly hypermobile, but that's not what we want. We want to just stretch and open up the front of the chest. Wonderful. And let's do one more roll down. So we're nodding the chin towards the chest. We've tucked that pelvis now. With the last roll down you do before bed, there is no right or wrong way to do a roll down when it comes to time. So the slower you go, the better it gets, because you're giving yourself that time. And it's also nice to have a really nice 5 minutes at the end of the day just for you. We're so busy rushing around what we have to do, where we have to be, what we have to wear, when we eat, when we do household jobs. We sometimes just forget that we're living. And it's really nice just to let yourself switch off and release. So if you want, you can have your hands a bit hanging further forward, so the hang of the arm feels a little bit nicer. Just stretch out. And then bend the knees and restack, lift all the way back up. Wonderful. So before bed, you can come back to this video, of course, but before bed, if you do the roll down and then stretch the chest back, you could do another roll down and then stretch the chest back again, or you could do 2 in a row. There's no really wrong or right way, as long as you're stretching off. And of course, you always want to make sure that when your hands are here, you're not up like this with the neck, because we want to keep that neck in line with the spine always. But those 2 exercises, I would really suggest that they will massively help you with your posture. They help you to feel a lot clearer as well. They also make you stand a lot taller, which is a lot to do with psychology and the confidence within your body when you walk. And of course, it's amazing for your posture and your overall skeletal health. But that is it for today. Those 2 very small little routines that you can incorporate into your day. But as always, don't put any pressure on yourself to ever do anything too much. You can just do small, tiny little habits that one day will make up, and as part of your day routine. I always remember one person I know, they do a lot of yoga and they're now doing 30 minutes a day. And I asked him, like, how did you do 30 minutes of yoga a day? And he said, honestly, I just did 5 minutes for a few weeks and then I did 10 minutes. And then it got to the point where I enjoyed it so much, I look forward to it, that now I just wouldn't go a day without it. So that is how tiny little habits stack up, so your body is so much healthier. But I really hope you enjoyed this. I will see you next Monday for even more Pilates, and have a lovely week in the sunshine, and thank you for joining me as always. Bye.